Hello, YouTube. It's Wednesday, January 15th, 2022. 5:55 p.m. And as you see, the alley is clear right here. Yeah. I don't know whether somebody decided to come through and grab a bunch of stuff or if the city of Phoenix finally picked up bulk trash. I'm going to say, based upon how overall clear the alley is right now, that the city picked up bulk trash, which is actually kind of disappointing. I mean, yeah, I didn't really have the means to move the furniture I saw there that I liked, that I kind of wanted. And the last thing I need to do is be ordering more furniture I don't immediately need to use. But there's a nice hardwood entertainment center there. Shut up, car. There was a nice hardwood entertainment center there that had drawers in it and nice shelves that I kind of just want to put in my storage unit just to help keep the stuff I'm storing organized. And then, oh gosh, what night was it? Monday night, when I was driving around playing, where's the girlfriend? Oh, and I got an explanation from her, by the way. It seems maybe plausible. I don't know. You know, I should... I mean, my best friend and my daughter are both like, you know, at this point, you just need to not care. Like, you're giving her more of yourself than she's worth by even caring. But I don't know, it's hard not to. It really is. Anyway, yeah, it was that was like a series of 3 videos, just and in the first one, in fact, or maybe they were in the second one, the little short one, but it looked like there were dumpster divers in the alley, and what it actually was people dumping in the alley. But the crazy thing is, what they were dumping was actually, I went back and looked at it, and I really should have included that in a video, but I'm like never doing the walking videos anymore, you know, I got a car now. Speaking of walking and alternate transportation, that guy on the bicycle with no shirt on in the dolly seems to be having an interesting situation going on. Anyway, he... God, did I say the time? I'm not sure if I said the time. It's 5:58 p.m. 5:58 p.m. I'm just going straight down Oak Street. I looked at the traffic. I'm going to try to get a little bit done before I go to work. And I looked at the traffic, and yeah, it's Loop 202 to the 10 is just an absolute clusterfuck. There's 2 accidents on it, and it's just all congested to hell. And at 5 p.m. it usually is like horrible congestion anyway, but add 2 accidents into the mix, and no thanks. I'm not driving on that. It didn't look particularly bad on McDowell or Thomas, but given the choice between 6 p.m. on McDowell or Thomas and just leisurely driving down Oak, I generally always take leisurely driving down Oak. So I'm leisurely driving down Oak. Anyway, let's say Monday. See something about Monday, because I was talking about what I was doing so Priscilla has an explanation for where she was. That is not what I was wanting to talk about, though. God, and I've completely forget what it was now. That had to do with Monday night. It's going to be one of those kind of days. I can tell how not focused I am. Of course, yesterday at work, I couldn't have been more laser focused, and I still feel like I generally failed miserably at what I was trying to do, which I was given more free reign of than I've ever been given before, and that was being the pallet guy. Like, I was given, like, as a new pit driver, like, I was just given free reign on a forklift to load and unload and stay logged in or labor. It's a thing with Amazon as far as like labor tracked and what tasks you're on. And rather than being labor tracked as a water spider, which is usually how I'm labor tracked when I'm doing that, occasionally I'm labor tracked as a line loader when I'm doing that. And it's just a matter of, like, I realize that there's enough line loaders and the wood is piling up, so I'm gonna move it. Which of course requires I have the self-discipline to when it's reasonably caught up, or when I notice that there's plenty of product on the line, get my ass back on the line, start throwing stuff. Anyway, I'm reasonably confident at this point that by supervisors, and by the way, I'm not including Africa No Bottoms in this. He seemed to be going out of his way to have absolutely no contact with me yesterday. Meanwhile, people that coworkers I hardly ever even talk to, are coming up and like, hey, was that you that went off at manager whose name starts with a D last night or night before last? And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, and then just throwing me a fist bump out of nowhere. Like, there's so much of that last night. Oh my Lord. And then some of the higher ups, most notably Angel. It's Angel, not Christian. I'm having trouble getting that name right. It's definitely Angel is the older guy that's the head guy in the building for pit training, forklift training. He didn't come over specifically to ask, hey, what happened with that? He came over. For me as a new operator, I'm operating heavy equipment. It's a potentially really dangerous thing. So, I mean, the Amazon is like overkill on that to make sure that I know the rules, at least on the book end. And I do. In fact, it's probably one thing that's kind of rubbing me the wrong way is that I like that's being drilled so hard into me that I'm seeing so many. When I'm seeing like certain procedures not really being followed, it's just like making me edgy, because where I load the wood is kind of a traffic area in that it connects what at Amazon is generally referred to as the road. So there are paths that go through the warehouse that are barricaded off that are specifically for forklift and other machinery to travel in, and not for pedestrians to travel in. And it's just commonly referred to as the road. And like I said, the building I work in is absolutely huge. It's like its own little weird ecosystem inside. And anyway, where basically the entire rest of the inbound dock area, where the wood pallet loading zone is, that has to be traveled through to get to all the rest of the inbound docks. So yeah, there's traffic that's going through there. And another form of traffic that I have to deal with as a forklift operator that I feel like I was maybe warned about it in the actual book work and in classroom time. Not to be confused with the actual, hey, look, now you're on a forklift. Show me what you can do. I can't do anything. I'll figure it out. Time and I don't know what you call this person's position. They're definitely not management. I don't think they work for the safety department. This is just their job. They pretty much run solo. But there are a few people whose job is apparently just to operate. I don't know what they're called. I want to call them airlocks, because I've spent way too much of my life watching way too much sci-fi, and when you're coming in and out of the spaceship, you go through the airlock, and it's really important that the airlock gets operated properly, or or people die. And anyway, not so extreme, obviously, but basically there's with the docks where the trailers dock against the building, and then the forklifts, or in the case of fluid, people go in to load the trucks, or in the case of outbound, or unload the trucks, or in the case of outbound, load the trucks. It's my understanding sometimes with the inbound docks we have to load trucks as well as pit drivers. I'm not sure entirely how that works. It's been explained to me at a couple of different levels from a couple different people. I understand it's the thing that happens, and as a water spider, it was something I kind of had to be aware of, and I'm only kind of mildly aware of it because I don't supervise that, but just sometimes I'm trying to be cognizant of it and be aware of it and kind of point the people that do supervise that in the direction of, hey, there is what looks to me like a loading zone completely full of product, and then I'll be told, oh no, I'm aware of that one, Dan. That's actually that needs to go out. So. Which almost gives me the feeling that it wasn't supposed to come to us in the first place, and it got unloaded, and then somebody realized, why the fuck is this here, and is sending it out. Anyway, sorry, I digress. So there's these locks. I wish I knew what they're called, and that's something that's in the book where I'm supposed to know what they're called. I need to make a point to ask somebody what they're called. Which is not as important that I know what they're called as it is important that I know not even how they work, because that's not my job. That's the job of the person I was trying to describe. But that I know how to identify their status. That's the important thing from my end at this point, which I do. There's a checklist that has certain papers that are pretty obvious color coded, that are turned in a certain direction that indicate that person has or has not done their job, the person who operates them, and then there's also a flashing light, almost like a traffic light. Yeah, there needs to be a green light. Let's keep it the lowest common denominator. Some of the people that work at Amazon aren't the brightest. Yeah, there needs to be a green light on before you go into a trailer, even if it looks like there's a trailer connected and the door is open. That's the important thing. That's what I know. And obviously flashing red lights indicate there's some issues. Flashing red lights and an alarm indicates there's bigger issues. I'm pretty sure I mentioned in one of my vlogs, the very first day that I got was to work on a forklift, and I went in the building. It was just I feel like I mentioned this before, but it just bears repeating. It's worthy of repeating. There was the dock directly opposite of where I was getting ready to work, there in front of the wood pallet loading zone. It was not only was it flashing red, but the alarm was going off. So it was creating all this additional traffic, and I ended up having the two heads of the safety department there, which they're managers in their own right, and from my understanding, have way more authority to fire you than a manager does. A manager's got to follow procedures. They can pretty much just be like, you're doing what right now? Clearly you didn't get any of the safety, or you're not paying attention to any of the safety rules. Get the fuck out. I believe they have that level of power. And for what it's worth, and I know I've mentioned this in earlier vlogs, the one head of safety, for a while there, I was just kind of finding him super frustrating and trying to avoid him as we kind of went round and round about certain procedures that I specifically was not following, and then procedures that were not being followed, and we're never going to be followed on the inbound docks. And it's just you just understand. I realize these are rules, but rules have to be flexible enough to apply in a given situation. I mean, there's a rule that says that you're not supposed to drive more than 65 miles per hour on a Phoenix freeway. But I'll tell you this, on a lot of Phoenix freeways, especially, during non-peak traffic times, if you're driving 65 miles per hour on them, you're a traffic hazard. Straight up. Yeah, so I've used some of the rules like that. Other rules, I'm just like, whoa, you can't do that. That's not safe. So Certainly one rule that I've been very aggro at, and I always point it out anytime someone's doing it, and I handle it, is parking of pallet jacks. But I really see the inherent danger of an unparked pallet jack as being pretty high. Anyway, and that's another one I'm not really finishing or getting to any conclusions, but hey, hopefully I'll remember what I'm talking about in the next video, and I'll continue it on that. Thanks for coming with on the drive. Oh yeah, like I said, trying to get a little bit done today. It's after 6, so I get the feeling this building's even open, but I'm trying to see if I can reschedule or at least touch base with my therapist.